Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Moises, and today it's gonna be, the second episode. Okay, first of all, really quick, I'm sorry that it's taken me so long to make another video. I was doing it. I was on the Sigma grind. I was cooking up stuff, and then I was going to do it today. But you know what happened? Apparently, you need a phone number if you're going to post a video that's more than 15 minutes. I don't have that. So, yeah, so from now on, everything's gonna have to be 15 minutes or less. So, yeah. Okay, moving forward, this episode is gonna be a storytelling episode, so we don't have to bother to animate this that much. It's gonna be about the neighborhood I used to live in, and how, maybe not tough, but how weird it was. So let's get to it, shall we? So, there was many things that was off about the place that I lived. I'm not gonna, tell you straightforward, the address, the IP address, whatever, because, gotta protect the innocent and stuff. I don't know. Gotta protect my identity. Say I'm Spider-Man or something. But I'd say I lived in the very below average places. How below average? We'll get to that. First of all, the appearance of the complex was very below average, where I would show people, how the places would look. And they would say, they would be honest, and they would say that it's pretty ugly, which I admit myself. There were dark brown bricks and this dark gray metal that was kind of swooshing over it. It was weird. It was a weird look. I don't know why. Who came up with the layout and the appearance of the buildings and just thought, you know what? Let's make it look like a block of Minecraft dirt. But the green part is half of it and then the brown is the other half. You know what I mean? But yeah. So let's get to stories. So a thing about my complex was that, the friend group. We were very diverse, this friend group. We had me, and we had Derek and Sammy, the black kids. I don't know how to say it. I'm not racist or anything. My nephew is black. My shirt is black. I, I don't think it's gonna make the cut. Whatever. So yeah, we got Derek and Sammy. They were the black kids of the complex. You know, I remember their parents. And I remember that Derek and Sammy, where Sammy was light skinned. He kind of resembled Will Smith. And Derek was dark skinned. He kind of resembled I don't know. What's it like a dark African descendant? Usain Bolt? Yeah, we go with that. That's the one I can name off the bat. So yeah, we had the black kids. We also had the German kids. We had two brothers, and their name one of them is Razul, and his younger brother starts with a Y, forgot the name. And we had another Spanish kid who's apparently my cousin. I don't know who he is, bro. His name is Sebastian. So yeah. And I remember where our complex was in a way where it's kind of divided by two, where once you enter it, you can either go left or right, where you go to two separate parking lots where there are houses nearby. The ones I lived in was to the left side, which is where most of the friends in the friend group was. But if you continue to the right, that's where you would meet the white kids. Now this was segregation, was like this. This is the layout. So, yeah. Speaking of the white kids, our white kids were weird. I remember the white kid we had, his name is Kevin. And we also had a white girl, as a member, just to have one of them. Kevin and this white girl, I forgot her name. They're not related at all. But yeah, I remember this white girl. She was a bit odd because, first of all, she would eat a lot. And she always, whenever we hung out, whenever she doesn't really hang out much, but when she does, whenever she does, she's always eating off a paper plate that she just leaves. She doesn't throw out, she just leaves it on the floor or on the fence. Every now and then you get a fence that is like a strict 90-degree angle corner. and she would just leave it right there on the corner, so it can like that's like a table. But yeah, I remember when me and my friend group, we kind of snitched on her or whatever. We just told her mom that she kept like loitering. I don't know the word. To this day, I don't know, because I remember back then I had this memory where I straight up told her mom like she's loitering, she's littering, something like that. So I still don't know the word right. I think it's littering, but I heard loitering somewhere, but maybe it's a different word. All right. Now to Kevin. Nothing that off with Kevin. It's more like his brother, but more specific than Kevin. Kevin, he was the white kid where he was so white where they had like the truck. The rundown truck. He had that. And he was so white, you can see like on his like moon eye thingies, whatever these things are, they were veiny. You can see like green veins. That's how white and skinny he was. And I don't know what's with some people, at least Kevin, he had this like attitude thing where whenever he's like doing the duh motion, everyone has like this kind of emote they have when they say duh to make people feel dumb. Kevin, the way he did it was he always rage baited me. So, anyways, he used to be like duh, and then he would like do like he would like something like that, and like the eye, something like that. Yeah. For all those people that's listening with headphones and not watching this, he hits the yeah. For all the blind viewers, he hits the okay, yeah, okay. We're dropping that. Anyways, the bigger thing is his older brother. Don't know his name, but he was weird. He looked weird, dressed weird, all that. He was straight up emo. You know, in terms of he wore a lot of black. Picture a white emo person. You're probably not that far off from Kevin's older brother. He wore an oversized black shirt, an undersized, tight, skinny black jeans, and black hair. It wasn't the purple hair. There was no whoosh. It was like the black, like flat, spiky-ish hair. And the key thing about him is he had this hook, this like Freddy Krueger like hook thing. I might put an image here, or I might put a GIF saying that I'm not going to do all that hard work right here. Anyways, so yeah, he had this weird hook thing. It was weird. You could tell it was fake, but why did he have that? And at the time, he was like a teenager. He was, you know, he couldn't legally drive at about that age, which is scary to know. So, yeah. And he was a weird kid. I remember where we used to play like games with him, and he was the group leader every now and then when we played with him because he was the oldest one in the group. The oldest one is always deemed leader. You know, it's like prison. You gotta like beat up the biggest guy, and then you're like the leader of the child friend group. You get the idea. So yeah, I remember this one distinct memory where we used to play with him, and this was during the time everyone was so hyped up about FNAF. You know, So he was a huge FNAF fan. I was a FNAF fan at the time. I knew what FNAF was. I watched the game theory at the time. I wasn't big of a fan of it. I just knew of his existence and the core lore. Now I'm a huge fan to it. I might make an episode to it later on. So we would play Manhunt, but Freddy Fazbear Edition, where everyone can like, choose their own genre of, Five Nights at Freddy's. For example, I was the Nightmare animatronics. I thought the Nightmare animatronics were pretty cool, and they still do to this time. I think they're the coolest looking ones. For me, it's the Nightmare animatronics and Withered Bonnie. Withered Bonnie's pretty cool. Now, he liked the Wither animatronics. And I remember Sebastian, he chose like Toy Bonnie, something like that. And Kevin's brother, apparently he was the master of power scaling FNAF characters. Because I remember he's chose the Withered animatronics because they were the strongest. And I remember Sebastian asked if the toy animatronics were strong, and he was like, "Yeah, they're pretty strong." And then I was like, "Is the Nightmare animatronics pretty strong?" And he was like, "Nah, they're pretty weak. They suck." What, bro? What the heck? Is this favoritism? I don't know if he's right. Maybe all the FNAF fans could, put on the comments or something. Yeah, I know. The Nightmare animatronics look pretty strong. They look scary at least. So yeah. Another memory was where he chased me with a knife. Child antics. Uh, you know, he played too much sometimes. I remember one time we were playing tag. Maybe it was the same occasion, maybe it was a different occasion, where he was chasing me and he was getting close to me. Of course, with my short, stubby legs, and he was like really tall. He was a tall, skinny teenager. I was a short, stubby, chubby kid. But, I think if some person was chasing you with a knife and a Freddy Krueger claw, I think it would be natural for you to, like boost and turbo a little bit, really, just blast off. And that's what I did. And I guess I broke his ankles and he fell, or he just slipped on grass or something, whatever. And he was really mad about it. He was like, "Once I get you, you're done." And I was scared, bro. I was scared. And I remember I was running to like hop over this fence because, we had like the small, short wooden fences that was maybe 2, 3 feet tall. So you can like hop over them. So yeah. And that's what I did. And then because he's taller, he just single leg hopped, just leaped over it. And he almost got to me. But knowing the complex there was like a police officer like on the side over there, like over there, and I was saved. Worked out. So yeah, he was a weird kid. He was a crazy kid. I wonder where he is now. I wouldn't be surprised if he's on freaking Guantanamo Bay or Alcatraz. Bro, I remember another situation where he straight up told me he was gonna watch me sleep because he didn't want me like tattletale on him. A straight up teenager playing with kids with a knife is scared of someone telling on him on his parents, bro. That's crazy. Another situation. Ah, frick, we're running low on time. Hmm. I think that's enough for today. Just about the complex and stuff. I remember it was really fun, those days. This was pre-COVID. Before COVID happened, before all that happened, when everything was so genuine. What happened to us, bro? I think I'm just really convinced that everything really went down really like significantly after COVID. And I was a key example of that because for me, when COVID was kind of over in a way, in a sense that like everything was settling down, everyone was able to come back to school. My mom didn't want me to. My mom homeschooled me. But the thing is, she didn't know how to homeschool. So I straight up played cool math games for a whole school year. I am not joking. So I straight up missed a whole school year. I think it was grade 5. I straight up missed grade 5. Just yeah. And then next grade, yeah. But yeah, that's crazy, man. Ah, frick, running low on time. Look at this, 14 seconds. We're making it by an inch. Frick. So yeah, I have more videos on the way. I had so many videos. I cooked so much, bro. But they're all like over an hour long, and I can't reach the 15-minute limit because I have to give away my phone number. Bro, come on. This is crazy. Anyways, I hope you guys like the story. Um, yeah, I'll post this whenever I can. Whenever I finish editing is whenever I'll try to post. I try to save it for the weekends, but I don't think that works out. We're still working things out. Anyways, that's pretty much it. See ya.